2022 was monumental for K-pop, from BTS setting the record for the biggest box score for a 4-day semi-residency in Vegas to the mass exodus of YG artists. K-pop has and is changing its culture, reach, and business structure. But for us to know where K-pop is going in 2023 and beyond, we do need to look at the most important developments in 2022. Here are 22 of the most important moments in 2022 that will affect K-pop forever.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. I would really appreciate it. Now let's go back to the video.
The numbers reveal the business behind the music. It's easy to get carried away with nice offices and international coverage. K-pop management agencies are masters of such a trick. But when institutions whose sole concern is to track the profitability of a business shows an agency's tanking, you know glamour is covering some messed up reality. Back in 2021, Korea Stock Exchange demoted SM and YG from blue-chip companies to mid-sized businesses. SM has recovered, but YG not so much. In fact, in the second quarter of 2022, they would have lost money if it wasn't for the sale of their golf business. JYP and SM, on the other hand, have started recovering. Then there's HYBE, with the much publicized individual activities of BTS, lack of success to find a new BTS, and tanking of their stock price. People were sure HYBE was going to lose money. Well, HYBE made more money than the three agencies combined. What did JYP, SM, and HYBE had in common? A diverse portfolio. Each of those agencies had many artists under their wing. HYBE in particular had many other sources of income. It proves that a sound business strategy, diversification in particular, is still the biggest requirement for a stable income. When Chuu was dropped from Luna's lineup, BlackBerry could have taken the standard route, that is to announce it and then move on. Instead, they decided to malign her. What they didn't count on, probably because it rarely happens in K-pop, was Chuu fighting back. It will be a long battle and a lot will unravel, but Chuu may be setting a precedent for all idols in the future, sending a strong message to agencies. Don't think that just because you have the backing of expensive lawyers, idols won't fight back. Online haters win another battle. Korean netizens are notorious for their power to take down idols. They managed to oust many idols from other groups. So when netizens flooded hate towards Kim Garam's way, the former member of SSERRAFIM, for an unfounded accusation, and HYBE decided to stand by Garam, I thought the netizens found their match. They didn't. HYBE dropped Kim Garam, and Korean netizens' prowess lives another day. G-Idol curbs their own path with Tomboy and Nude. G-Idol is yet to sell 1 million copies of a single album, but they are winning another battle. Artistry. G-Idol is proving that girl groups can very well control their own creatives. They can come up with their own concepts, produce and write their own songs, and decide their own promotions. They can touch on sensitive topics and spin the conversation towards something progressive instead of something conventional or sexual. They don't need a think tank to hand them songs to sing or give them clothes to wear. They can all think of that all by themselves. The agency is there to be their helper, not their master. They have shown the idol world, yes, it can be done. All you need to do is actually care about your music. Top leaves YG. YG swore up and down that Big Bang wasn't going to break up after the release of their comeback song Still Life seemed to have hinted at a goodbye. And then Top left and didn't hold back in expressing just how relieved, at peace, and happy he was for doing so. What everyone didn't realize was that he was about to become the Moses of YG artists, leading them out of the dungeons and into their own lands. V-JENNIE dating scandal. I couldn't care less about whether or not they're actually dating, but the way they handled the scandal was something for the books. They left everyone high and dry. They refuse to comment, leaving everyone salivating for an ending they will never have. They just show the whole idol industry exactly how to tell people that idols' private lives are no one's business by keeping it exactly that, private. ADOR opens the trainee debt conversation. Idols could spend years before getting paid because the agency tries to recover the money they spent training and producing their albums first. Idols, of course, are fed, provided shelter, given minimal allowances, but it could take years until they actually get a share of their earnings. Even in the US, artists are given an advance for them to pay their bills until such time the label recovers their investments. It's a worldwide practice, so when ADOR CEO Min Hee-jin revealed that New Jeans got paid 2 months after their debut, it opened a conversation about whether or not the long-standing practice is actually fair. Although HYBE is not the first agency to cancel their idols' debts, their status inspired more conversations. Hopefully, netizens will be as eager and as loud in demanding other companies to change their rules. That will allow idols to concentrate on their art and performances rather than worry about securing their future. Reunion of the Queens. Girls' Generation, 21, and Kara all made a comeback and showed every third-gen girl group how it is done. The synchronization is unmatched. But it's not just in the execution of dance routines, but also in the level of energy they exerted in every performance. They were moving like a group that actually cared about the beauty of their performances, and not just how cool they would look on stage. Girls' Generation, 21, and Kara just showed younger fans and younger idols that long after their youth passes, the one thing that will remain is their dedication to their craft. RM becomes the highest-ranking K-pop soloist in Billboard Hot 200. RM penned the most personal songs about the life and struggles of a 20-year-old multi-millionaire international superstar. And he still managed to make it the most relatable music penned in 2022. And the songs were introspective rather than bops. They were meant to be a whisper to the cold winter air rather than club beats on a weekend midnight. And hundreds of thousands of listeners still found it to be personal enough to make it their anthems, the most intimate melodies that trace their own experiences. While RM has paved the way together with his bandmates, RM is doing it again as a soloist. He's making fans realize that music doesn't have to be a celebration heavy on bass to push their bodies to dance. Music could be a silent witness to the life they make every day. IKON leaves YG as a group. There is something to be said when an entire group leaves their agency but stays together. The move tells you that the group has remained committed to each other, their fans, and their craft, but at the very least doesn't feel their agency can handle their growth. And when they are not alone in that exit, you know something is not right. YG's numbers have told a story of a sinking ship. For almost 2 years, they have been losing money, but it also tells an even bigger story of mismanagement and unhealthy business processes. A big company like YG doesn't sink that fast in such a short period of time. The sinking ship may have just been a tale of a dying monster. TWICE becomes the biggest selling girl group in pure sales and streaming in the US. Practically no one saw it coming, except once. BLACKPINK was all the rage in the US. TWICE was almost always projected as a local star, not an international success. When IFPI released their numbers revealing TWICE as the best-selling K-pop girl group in pure sales, and Spotify revealed TWICE was the most streamed girl group for 2022, it was a shocker for many. But it's also a lesson. Just because JYP hasn't hit the drums as loud when it comes to TWICE's international success, it doesn't mean they are lagging behind. The race is closer than people think it is. JYP has been cautious business-wise, taking careful steps rather than making gigantic leaps. And their 2023 business numbers proved it to be a better strategy. This could spell a huge difference in the future of JYP's groups in the US. A healthy financial book can better support their artists' projects in the long term. BLACKPINK'S Born Pink becomes the first double million seller album by a girl group. Back when Girls' Generation was the reigning queen of K-pop, they were setting records with 500,000 album sales. BLACKPINK becoming a double million seller is a testament of how much K-pop has expanded, how fast girl groups are catching up with boy bands, and how popular BLACKPINK has become. Each time a girl group catches up with their sales, they pull away, and they continue to set the bar for girl groups. Let's see who will catch up. NMIXX JINNI leaves the group. Barely a year into their career, and JINNI, one of the most well-loved members of NMIXX, was announced to have been no longer a part of the group. If that seemed ambiguous, it is because the announcement was exactly that, ambiguous. No reason was provided by JYP. But what was interesting is how fans made a connection on JYP's previous statement. JYP said they don't reveal the reason for an idol's exit from the group or agency because they want to be considerate and allow the idol a clean slate to start somewhere else. When the departure from the group or from the agency is the fault of the idol, they simply say it's for personal reasons. And that is the exact reason they provided when JINNI left the group. BTS gets 3 Grammy nominations. BTS was nominated for Best Pop Duo or Group Performance with Dynamite in 2020, Butter for 2021, My Universe for 2022. They are the only act to be nominated 3 years in a row in this category. They're also nominated for 2 other categories. They also became the most nominated K-pop act in the Grammys. BTS is also the first K-pop group to end up in any of the top 4 categories at the Grammys: Album, Record, and Song of the Year, as well as Best New Artist. BTS just set the bar for all K-pop artists, not just in sales, but in critical acclaim. GOT7 comeback. When GOT7 members promised to stay together after signing with different agencies, many were skeptical about it. Fans have heard the same promise broken many times over, but GOT7 actually did it. More importantly, they were returning as a self-owned group with all trademark rights belonging to all 7 members, which never actually have been successful in the history of K-pop. Well, there's Shinna, but they spent 17 years in legal battles before owning the rights to their names. There's also Highlight, formerly Beast. They ended up renaming the group after leaving their agency. It's an unconventional route, but it could also signal freedom for idol groups who want to stay together under a new agency. They just showed it can be done. Stray Kids, 3 million sales and sold-out stadium concert. Yes, Bank of California Stadium is only a quarter of Rose Bowl, but still, it's a big leap from Microsoft Theater with 7,000 seats, and they sold it out in less than a minute. And if there's any sign of success better than album sales, it's concert attendance. Not only does it take a lot of effort to physically fly or drive to the venue, there's also nothing to be gained for buying multiple tickets. And there's a lot of additional costs involved in attending a concert physically. You can't mass attend a concert to manipulate any kind of ranking the way music video views are mass streamed to increase a group's Billboard ranking. It's a much better gauge of one's popularity. Stray Kids has it locked. 2 PM Junho wins BAEKSANG Award for Best Actor. Idols are still discriminated against, viewed as products rather than artists. That's why it's rare for idols to make a successful crossover from their idol life to acting, a traditionally much more respected profession. So when Junho won the Best Actor award for The Red Sleeve at the BAEKSANG Arts Award, he made it a whole lot easier for idols to make a crossover. Given that idols have a short shelf life, a much more open acting industry will help idols pursue a path when the grind of dancing becomes a less attractive option for them. BTS's record-breaking semi-residency in Vegas. BTS's 4-day show earned more than $40 million. It is the second highest US box score and the fifth biggest box score overall. And remember, they only played 4 shows and we're only counting ticket purchase. We're not even talking about merchandise, sponsorships, live views, and others. And that's the new bar, not just for Korean artists, not just for Asian artists, but for every artist from every part of the world. YouTube surpassed Melon Music. YouTube Music surpassed Melon Music as the most used streaming platform on Android in South Korea. YouTube Music is unique in that it is actually tied to YouTube. It's a clear sign that a song isn't just about instruments, beats, and lyrics anymore. It's a full narrative. When Billboard started counting YouTube views in its ranking, and BTS started creating epic storylines across different eras, they set off a motion that steered the industry from a sound-centered industry to a narrative-centered one. Whether you're doing it the Blackpink way, where you establish your queendom frame by frame with powerful and beautiful graphics, or the New Jeans way, where you tear apart each song with different points of view, music videos now play an integral part in a song's success. YouTube views aren't just a magnet for music journalists hungry for scoops and clicks. They also have become a tool for fan engagement. J-Hope happened. When J-Hope released Jack in the Box, expectations of record-breaking sales were low. Not because he wasn't popular, but because the whole album isn't pop. So when he became the first K-pop soloist to headline a major music festival and bested his own group for the biggest audience in a single show with more than 105,000 in attendance, it wasn't just surprising. It was groundbreaking. J-Hope proved that while ARMY loudly supported BTS in K-pop and Western pop, they're also mature enough to appreciate BTS's art in their purest form. This will give the rest of BTS a certain level of assurance that while starting a new journey with a new sound and a new art could be scary, being true to who you are as an artist is the only beginning worth pursuing. Debut of 3 more monster girl groups, New Jeans, NMIXX, and SSERRAFIM. New Jeans became the fastest K-pop girl group to win a Daesang. They also got their first perfect all-kill. IV's Love Dive became the song of the year, and SSERRAFIM just established themselves to be the best performers among 4th-gen girl groups by raising the level of difficulty in their already difficult choreographies and with new, big, and theatrical performances each stage. Practically in their freshman year, these groups are fast establishing their own sound, breaking records, and are consistently pumping songs with unique and new sounds that are both technically superior and hella addictive. If 4th-gen boy bands don't catch up, these 4th-gen girl groups will own 2023. BTS announced individual activities. BTS's leather shoes were still warm from walking the halls of the White House. Their banks are not done counting the money they made from the most profitable semi-residency with a 4-day concert in Vegas. People still haven't registered the fact that they launched the very first Korean song to the summit of Billboard Hot 100. The last thing everyone thought they were going to do was walk away. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't just walk away from K-pop. They walked away from pop altogether. They stepped out of the way that they paved to find new uncharted lands and forests to clear and pave. It was a turn so sharp and so fast that everyone hasn't really recovered from the whiplash. They abandoned everything fans thought to be important, from Billboard rankings to Western award shows to record-breaking sales, for something no one really thought of: the pursuit of personal artistry. And the farther they walk away from K-pop, the more intense they rock K-pop with every step that they take. It proves just how attached K-pop still is to BTS. Everyone is just out to find the new BTS, and everyone is out to prove they are better than BTS, and everyone is worried they won't be able to find the new BTS. Because not having anyone to pull the audience and clock the numbers and attract the same attention and affect other economies mean a regression for K-pop. But BTS doesn't seem to be interested in going back at the moment. J-Hope sailed the maiden voyage with a sound so deep under the dungeons of cerebral music, and Jin followed with a melancholic but hopeful goodbye, and then RM with an extremely personal journal of his youth. One thing is common though. They are out to shed the K-pop image. They are establishing new sounds, new business strategies, new career strategies in new worlds. The question now is, will the rest of K-pop follow? Or will K-pop keep walking the road BTS paved in the quest to be bigger than BTS? The question is, will the rest of K-pop follow? Or will K-pop keep walking the road BTS paved in the quest to be the biggest K-pop act? Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Happy New Year, and I wish you a beautiful, fruitful, happy, and peaceful 2023.